Hi guys, my name is Sadik and welcome to my channel. And I also welcome Farad. As always, he's a regular on our channel. And again, thanks Farad for coming to our channel.
Pleasure. Pleasure, sir.
Yes. So today's discussion will be quite, you can say, emotional, and at times, though we were not born in that era, but you can say nostalgic also. At least from you can say a subcontinent perspective. I won't even say an Indian perspective, but a subcontinent or a cricket fan perspective. So today we'll discuss about probably the most awaited Indian movie of the year. So we'll discuss about as you can always also see from the title it we'll discuss about 83. So 83, as just the title also suggests. So 83 is a movie directed by Kabir Khan, and it stars Ranveer Singh in the lead role along with other supporting actors. Which when we focus on the 1983 World Cup, and we've also read about that before the 1983 World Cup, India had just beaten one team in those two World Cups, 75, 79. That was East Africa, which you can say is nothing but more of a walkover victory. You see, because it was not against a competitive team. So, I mean, Farad, what are your views on that? I mean, if we, discuss on that
So,
before Team India won.
Sadik, I just want to say before I started, I've written two write-ups on 83. One is a preview and
Yeah,
one is a review. Sadik, if you could leave both the links in your description.
for sure,
The
for sure.
preview is more for the description of the events, how it had unfolded. And
Yeah,
83, the movie review is the movie review that is there.
sure,
So
sure.
I'll just start from the I'll give you a little history. 1975 was the first World Cup that was going to be held, first ODI World Cup. It was going to be 60 overs.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. And that time there was a pact that, just to like how T20 cricket was introduced to attract the crowd, the ODI cricket was just set up, to attract the crowd, which were supposedly getting a little, bored with Test cricket at
yeah,
that point. So that's why they had decided that we are going to have it was called Prudential Cup, by the way, at that time. It
yeah,
was not
yeah,
called World Cup.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it was going to be like there were only going to be three, editions of that Prudential Cup. There was nothing going to be after 1983.
Yeah.
At first, it was 1975, then 79, 83, and that was it.
Yes,
That was the history of the World Cup, basically.
yes, yes,
And
yes,
all were going to be held in England with the red ball. There was no
yes.
colored clothing, so it was red ball
Yeah,
and in England.
yeah,
India was again just finding its feet.
yeah,
If I have to talk about India specifically, it
yeah,
was a good team in the early 70s, but then again it lost its way somewhere in the middle.
yeah,
Um, India was more driven by spin. They did not have any fast
yeah.
bowler or express bowler, which is why India did not really do well in the 75, 79 World Cup.
Yeah.
We just won one match against
Yes.
East Africa, which is not even a country. It is like
Yeah.
modern day Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. I think
Yeah.
these are the
Yeah. Yeah.
countries that
Yeah.
are combined.
Yes.
So that was that one match that we won in 75, 79 World Cup. We just lost all of our matches. Even for that matter, we lost to Sri Lanka, who did not have a test playing status at that point of time
Yeah. Yeah.
in
Yeah.
1979.
Yeah.
So that was how comprehensive we were beaten. And West Indies, on the other hand, were unbeaten across two tournaments.
Yeah.
75 and 17, we did not even drop a single match.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the amazing team that they had. And entering the 1983 World Cup, India had an odds of 66 is to 1,
Yeah.
which means they were like the lowest ranked team entering the tournament. All other teams, there were, I think, 8 teams that year in 1983.
Yeah.
uh, and divided into two groups where each team would it was a round robin where each team would play each other twice.
Yeah.
That was the format across the two groups.
Yeah.
So India and Pakistan that were there, they were in separate groups. So India and Pakistan did not face each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Only chance they had was if Pakistan had beat the West Indies in semi-final, then it would have probably been the iconic India-Pakistan first match of a World Cup in a final. That
True.
would have eventually happened. If I
True.
have to just talk slowly, little bit on, because I think you're also there, Sadik. So I'll just talk little bit on the '87 World Cup also. Just touch upon that. That was another instance where India Pakistan. I think that was the World Cup that was brought to the subcontinent.
Yeah.
'87 World Cup, and India Pakistan were expected to be in the final, which was going to be played at Kolkata Eden
Kolkata.
Gardens. And there was a chartered plane that was sent to Mumbai, in which it would combine the both the teams were to travel together. The Indian and the Pakistan team traveled together in a World Cup final. But what a tragedy it was that it was Australia versus England that qualified.
Yeah.
India I think lost to, was it England, and Australia won against Pakistan. So both of them couldn't make it.
Yeah.
Our first meeting was in the '92 World Cup. Anyway, so coming
Yeah.
back to the '83, stacks were definitely against us, and I think uh, prior to that, the Windies team, just to give a perspective, they were like one of the strongest teams in Test. I mean, in cricket history. As you rightly said, the pace quartet that was there. And they used to just lose like only one or two matches in the entire year.
Yeah. Yeah. True. Very true.
So
Yeah.
So I remember before the tournament, I just take 30 more seconds
Yeah.
before I
Sure.
come
Sure.
to you.
Sure. Sure.
Before the '83 tournament, India had told the West Indies, in which India had, they were losing. It was just that one inconsequential match. I think it was at Guyana that India had managed to beat the West Indies. And
Yeah.
that was, I think, that one ODI before the main tournament had started. So that was that one, ray of hope that you could see, although India had lost the practice games as well. So I'll come back to you, Sadik. Now you tell me
Yeah.
what your
Yeah.
views are.
Yeah. So again, though I'm again consistently, discussing about the fast bowlers, because I started watching cricket in 1999. So when I started watching cricket, Australia were the dominant team, and they were freaking dangerous. I mean, batting, bowling, fielding, they were so difficult to beat. I mean, from 99 till 2011. I mean, they were a menace. And
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
are, I mean, if you're against Australia, if you're supporting your team, I mean, if I'm supporting Pakistan, you're supporting India. And it was such a headache to support our teams because we knew that Australia will, destroy us from all aspects. But still, when I compare Australia to that West Indies team, I think that West Indies team was much more dangerous, much more difficult to play. And even when you see that, '83 movie when Jiva was, in the party, he was playing Shrikant. So he also was mentioning that the four fearsome fast bowler that we never want to even remember. I mean, they were so difficult to face. So I mean, the strength of the West Indies team, even though they had such amazing batsmen, Clive Lloyd and Viv Richards, the best of them all, probably the best ever to play the cricket. So I mean, they never had any weakness, and whoever came in their way, they just destroyed them and turned in them to small pieces of paper. So a team India team, when you see, and I've seen a few episodes also when they discuss that they never had any facility whatsoever. They never even had a proper, you can say, laundry. They never even had a proper coach. They never even had a proper I mean, structure to their team. And apart from that, they were hardly given, I think, 15-20 pounds per day or per match. I'm not sure about it, but it was a very meager salary. So I mean, they didn't really have any incentive to play. I mean, when you compare it again in this era, I mean, even PCB Pakistan board has such a good infrastructure, better infrastructure when you compare it with the '83 Indian team. I mean, there's still an incentive to play. I mean, that in '83 Indian team did not have any incentive, monetary incentive to play. But still, when you see that passion that they had, it was crazy. I mean, the way they played, and they were fearless. So as an Indian, what are your views on that? Because as a Pakistani, I feel, oh my God. And even watching at the trailer, I was like, whoa. Though I'm unable to see the film because obviously it's not released in our you can say cinema. So this is one of the main reasons why I'm so excited to hear from you, from your perspective. So what are your views on
So
that? The emotion that
so
created.
So what the '83 win had done, I think, as you rightly had said at the very beginning, that not only Indian cricket, but I think the power center had changed to the subcontinent. The power
Yeah,
center then slowly became, Pakistan and India.
yeah,
Pakistan then later went on. That was the 83 moment. Pakistan went on to win the 92 World Cup and it
yeah,
was that famous Imran Khan captaincy that was there. Pakistan were almost down and out, and then
yeah,
one rained off match, one victory here and there,
yeah,
and all of a sudden Pakistan were in the semi-final, and ultimately, that
yeah,
famous words by Imran Khan saying, कि मैंने पता कर लिया है हम फाइनल जीत रहे हैं.
yeah,
So these are some of the words that just stick on, as far as world cricket is concerned. And coming back to 83, of course, I mean, there are so many people that, when I'd written that 83 preview, there were so many, and I had said that if 83 wasn't there, there wouldn't have been a Sachin, there wouldn't have been a Dhoni, there wouldn't have been even a Virat Kohli,
obviously.
nor 2007, nor 2011.
Yeah,
So I got a lot of backlash for that statement, saying that, Sachin would have changed the course of Indian cricket. But you're not understanding that there would not have been a Sachin, as in he would not have been inspired to play cricket at that point of time. He was just
obviously,
10 years, Sachin Tendulkar.
obviously.
And by the way, for people who are calling 83 victory a fluke, you cannot call that a fluke. You cannot beat the great West Indian side twice in a tournament.
Yes,
Once can be a fluke, twice cannot be a fluke. And that Australia team was also no walkovers.
yes,
Australia team, despite no Greg Chappell, or in Chappell, they actually were world beaters at that point. Australia
yeah,
had, by the way, had played a final. They had an experience of a knockout game as well. India did not have any experience, no facilities.
exactly.
You know, Still going out there and winning, and that specifically that Zimbabwe match, Sadik.
Yes, I wanted to
I mean,
specifically
we
talk on that.
had seen a similar situation 2019 World Cup, India versus New Zealand. India 24 for 4 and narrowly lost to New Zealand at the end.
Yeah, yeah,
220 odd. There
yeah,
was a partnership between Jadeja, Dhoni. But
yeah,
at the end of the day, we did not get over the line.
yeah,
That day, it was a do or die for India as well. And 9 for 4 when Kapil Dev entered the arena, and 17 for 5 India were. From there on to play, I think one of the best knocks of I think the ODI history.
obviously.
175 not out. I mean, taking the team score to 266 for eight, I think
Eight,
8.
yeah, 126 not
And
out.
and India were 140 for 8 at one point, and nowhere. And by the way, the opening bowler was Kevin Curran, who is the father of Tom Curran and Sam Curran, played for Zimbabwe. And the captain of Zimbabwe was Duncan Fletcher, who had later become the coach of Indian team.
England. Yeah,
In England as well as India team
yeah,
also. He
yeah,
was the coach of Duncan Fletcher was the coach,
yeah.
and that unfortunately that 175 did not get recorded because of the broadcasters
Yes,
strike.
yeah,
What way to pick
yeah,
that?
yeah,
And there's no recorded footage of the match, so I mean the only thing that you can do is watch 83 in a theater to marvel on that innings, of
yeah.
175 not out, which was then
Exactly.
the highest score. And I think it was the first ODI 100 by an Indian batsman.
Yeah,
And Kapil Dev in that match prior to that, the match that we had lost against Australia had picked up a fifer, which was the
yeah,
first fifer for India in an ODI match. So Kapil Dev, imagine what a big player, big match player he was. He had the first fifer for India, first ODI 100 for India. He was also the leading Test wicket taker for India before being crossed by Anil Kumble.
yeah,
So, I mean, you cannot call and disrespect people and say that it
yeah,
is a fluke. I mean, there's so many people who, there was some fans who also stood up and said, no, have a look at the Indian football that is there, or Indian hockey. Hockey after 1980, India did not win anything,
yeah,
and it had a massive impact. The shift was towards cricket. And why
yeah,
cricket? Because India was winning. India won 83 World Cup, 85 Benson and Hedges Trophy, 87 semi-final, and then by the time the Tendulkar era had started
yeah.
in the 90s.
Exactly, exactly.
So
Yeah,
you cannot call it pick or fluke, rather.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, people who are criticizing or even saying that it was a fluke, or I mean, who are not even recognizing the importance of that, 83 World Cup win, they are plain as dumb. I mean, it's so stupid to even recognize the fact that, I mean, they don't realize how dominant the West Indies team, as I already mentioned in the start of the podcast. Because you see, our you can say our fathers or our younger brothers or people who have seen the West Indies team of that time, they were so difficult to play against. I mean, even to be on that ground, I mean, to just see them, it was so. At times, you can't say that, you know, what should I say? I mean, I'm speechless now.
And just to give one perspective, there was this match between West Indies versus Australia, and Sir Viv was on strike. He was batting. I think the bowler was Jeff Thompson. I don't remember the bowler's name. I can be wrong. Sorry. So he actually bowled a bouncer, and Sir Viv was hit on the jaw, and he was
Yeah,
bleeding. Well, so Sir Viv, sent away the medical team that was coming to attend him. He took his cap. There was no helmet at that time, so he took
yeah,
his cap. He wiped it, wiped all the blood, and he took guard again, and he smashed the bowler for four consecutive fours after that.
yeah, yeah.
That was the flamboyance of Sir Viv,
Yes,
and
yes,
I'm so happy that Sir Viv wasn't shown as a villain in the film,
yeah,
because we all have fans of his batting,
yeah,
and there's no point to show him as a villain.
yeah,
Yeah, overconfidence, definitely. I mean, a big player has a very big ego as well.
yeah,
But we are fan of his batting. Like
yeah,
the 189 that he made in 1984 after the 83 World Cup. It was. I think that was again a brilliant innings in a similar situation. Like how Kapil Dev had rescued India.
yeah.
Survey that were up against each other. As
True.
simple as that.
Very true.
Hello.
Very true. Amazari.
Abhi aa rahi hai. I think you got stuck, but you're
Oh,
not moving. Oh,
अभी
you
आ
are.
रहा है?
You are. You are. हाँ
Okay.
हाँ अभी आ रहा है मेरा आ रहा था क्या कि कट गया
नहीं नहीं आ रहा था, आ रहा था.
ओ,
Just a second. Okay. So yeah, and now coming to the performances. So just looking at the performances, obviously, I think Ranveer, just looking at the trailer, I mean, initially I was thinking, before looking at the trailer, I was thinking, I'm not sure if he'll able to do justice to the role and stuff. But what I've seen from the reviews, it's just amazing that the performance that he's given. So I would like to hear from you. I mean, how was the performance of Ranveer and the other actors in the film?
I think all of them have an uncanny resemblance to the original. Saqib Salim did a fantastic job as Mohinder Ramanath, and he was one of the best batsmen of against fast. After smashing the bowler, just give a small smile, not to to go after the bowler. So these are the small aspects that I have watched the highlights, so I can totally relate to each character. And of course, Ranveer Singh too is like, I mean, such a versatile, I mean, actor. And from the trailer only, you got to know that this is going to be a special performance, and it indeed was a special performance. He did not have too many dialogues, by the way. I think this is the least number of dialogues that a film would have featuring Ranveer Singh. Probably after
Yeah,
Lutera, I think. So this, I think,
true.
I think this would probably be the second best performance of his career after Lutera.
Yeah,
I did not find Ranveer in this film. It was
yeah,
Kapil Dev that was
definitely. No,
so
even it was
amazing.
evident from the trailer. So yeah, overall,
Absolutely.
overall, it's an
Pankaj
amazing film.
Tripathi also, I think.
Yes,
Pankaj
yes,
Tripathi also, special
yes,
mention.
yes.
Amazing. Did a very good job, as PR
Yeah.
Mansi.
Yeah. So I would really, apart from that film, I just want to also mention that people who are able to watch this film in the cinema, I'm damn sure it would have been a spine chilling and goosebump moment. I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
recreating the magic. I mean, I wish I was the lucky one that was able to watch it, but I'm glad that you have watched it, and through you, I'm able to, just imagine how the magical that the film would be. So I'm just waiting how the film would release on OTT, and I would be able to watch a good print on that. Let's see,
Going
whenever.
to It's going to come out, I think, on the Republic Day weekend,
Oh,
21st, on
yeah,
Netflix as well as Hotstar.
very
Uh,
clever.
Put it on both. So I think it's
Oh,
going to come during that period, whenever the
yeah,
20th. So there's a 28-day window for the reserve for the theatrical run. So after 28 days, you can just work backwards. So I think it's going
Right.
to come near the Republic Day weekend,
Yeah, yeah.
21st, 22nd
Yes.
probably to come up.
Yeah. Very,
That
very
will
clever. Very clever. Very clever. That's good to see that. It's good to see. Yeah. So yeah, really awaiting this film, and thanks Farad for for your insight.
pleasure.
Yeah. So for just before wrapping up, I would ask Farad that if he wants to rate the film, because I'm not sure if I should even ask for the rating of this film.
I have rated this movie on my site, Popcorn Reviews. I've rated it 4.5 out of 5 because I'm a cricket fan and I felt that the movie did full justice. It did not dwell too much into the subplots that were there. It was serving cricket. It was very clear about it, and the situation was interesting. Plus, I mean, it gave such a grand theatrical viewing experience for me, with the ambience of hooting and shouting that everyone was doing. So, I mean, that was pretty fun. It was a memorable viewing experience for me, and I think I probably might just watch it again in a theater. I mean, that's how much I've loved it. So it's four
Amazing.
and a half out of.
Amazing, amazing. Great. So yeah, that's a wrap up from our side. And before wrapping up, we would request you to please like, share, and subscribe my channel. And apart from that, Farad is also, as we have discussed earlier, that Farad has also written the review of this film, and he's also written the preview of this film.
Review and preview.
Yeah, review and
Yeah,
preview of this film. So it's also mentioned the description of my channel and of this review, so you can watch and read the review also. So apart from that, if you want to suggest or give you can also mention in the comment section regarding what other films or what other content that we can discuss on my channel. So thanks again, Farad, for coming on our channel, and that's it from my end.
pleasure,
So
pleasure.
yeah, so please take care and do visit our channel again. So okay, take care and bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.